Welcome to the Ads and Dunks podcast, exclusively brought to you by Ausmerican Aces. My name's Adam Treloar. Obviously, my co-host is Josh Dunkley. In case you've forgotten, both AFL footballers. I'm old. I've been around for quite a bit. Played for 3 footy clubs. Joshy was my great teammate at the Western Bulldogs, premiership winner, best and fairest winner, has now moved up to play for the Brisbane Lions. We're exclusively with Ausmerican Aces. We're very excited about what we're going to be bringing this year and can't wait to show you some stuff that we do. Great insight into AFL, great insight into sport, whatever we do. And I'm going to keep blabbering on, but here's me mate, Joshy.
Azzy, how are you?
Very good. It's funny that we're doing this remotely from the pleasure of our own house.
It is, mate. It is. But we're very pumped to be able to get it to everyone's screens on Wednesday nights, aren't we, at 7 p.m. So really looking forward to it. And obviously a thing that we've sort of tried to get up and going for quite some time, but we did a little bit last year and now we're obviously excited about the Ausmerican Aces joining them and working together.
I'll tell you what does excite me a little bit is I know you're definitely a Brisbane Lions player through and through, but you've got that cheeky little Bulldogs jumper in the background that you're showing in the room that you're in, which means there's still a little bit of PCO with the Western Bulldogs Footy Club.
Mate, there'll always be a part of my heart. You know that, like yourself.
I know that, mate. Premiership winner, best and fairest winner.
Yeah, so obviously I wouldn't be the personal player I am today, mate, without the Western Bulldogs Footy Club. So very grateful for the opportunity and everything they've done for me. And now obviously onto a new chapter and really excited and looking forward to the season, mate.
Which is a little bit like what we're going to be doing, obviously, with our podcast. It was obviously called On and Off last year. We've now called it Ads and Dunks. I love how ads is first, as it always should be.
Of course.
But as I said, we're obviously exclusively with Ausmerican Aces, where I know you can, look at our YouTube channel, go onto all the socials that we're doing, that Ausmerican Aces are doing. They're doing some great things, something that we're really excited about bringing for the year. And as I touched on earlier, we'll be reviewing AFL games and, what's happening at Brisbane, what's happening at the Bulldogs, our perspective on things, but also touching on just the funny side of things with sport and other sports. And NBA, NFL, we can't forget those two because we absolutely love our American sports. Just even something that we didn't do last year, which I'm really excited about this year, is we're going to be giving away prizes and gifts for some of our fans this year, some of our loyal listeners.
Yeah, that's it, mate. So make sure everyone goes and subscribes to Ausmerican Aces, both on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram for everything. Follow us along our journey. And yeah, like you said, we're both really excited and can't wait to get stuck in there. Obviously, this is our first step, so exciting times ahead, mate.
And that's all the formal stuff out of the way. It's been a pretty long time between the last time we were both on camera together, and we were obviously teammates. The last time we were on camera, now you obviously made that big move up to the Brisbane Lions, which has been tough for both of us, but obviously a nice, refreshing start for you. How have you found it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good, mate. It's obviously, yourself, sometimes change is the best thing. But for me, it's been really refreshing. Obviously, new program, new people just around the football club. So loving my time so far and can't really complain about the weather and whatnot. You know what it's like up here, mate.
And you managed to get your little brother there too, which obviously helps you as well. Big Kaiser.
Yeah, that's it. He's playing in the VFL, so being able to train with us main sessions and it's been good to obviously live together and then go to training together as well.
All the Dunkley clans up there other than your parents. Even Archie, the dog's up there.
Even Archie's uppy, mate. He got a trim yesterday, actually. He's looking pretty sharp.
Speaking of trims, is that why you got a hat on? Don't you want to show your mop that I seen on the weekend? I mean, mine's not any better at the moment, but...
No, every time I post a photo now, Ran the barber always pays me out for having long hair. So... I know he still looks after you. He probably still looks after me if I was in Melbourne.
Well, you play in Melbourne in 3 weeks against us, don't you? Maybe you can squeeze in a haircut in your time off.
Imagine my tan lines, mate. Imagine the tan lines that I'd have. That'd be shocking.
You'd get sunburn underneath the roof at Marvel. Since that's been spoken about quite a bit, our bromance. Is there someone that's replaced me up there?
Oh. Not that I would tell you. Nah, I'm joking, mate. You know that. No one can ever replace you. The way we got along right from the start, I think there's always been something there. And I remember I sent you that article the other day. I still talk about you.
Yes. That was very sweet of you, mate.
I don't know if you still talk about me, but you probably hang shit on me around the footy club.
No way. The boys love you, mate. We all love it. We all mark that round 3 clash in our diaries as soon as we seen the fixture. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
was
gonna be
hoping,
good.
I was hoping it was round one, which I'm sure that you hoped that it was round one. Blockbuster, maybe at the MCG in front of, a lot of people. Interested to see how the game goes, what the crowds will do.
That would be cool. That would be very cool. I kind of wish we played just up here, just so I felt a little bit more at home. But
Hey, mate, the Bulldogs fans love you, mate. They love you. As I said, you're a premiership player.
they're gonna boo me so hard. It's gonna be funny. But anyway, moving on.
No. One more question about Brisbane Lions. So nothing's changed from the potty. I'll make sure I still run it, don't I? I talk too much, don't I?
You do, obviously. Talking off the top. Name first. It's all yours.
No, that wasn't my fault. No, I want to talk about one of your teammates because, personally, the best first year I've ever seen by an individual was last year, Nick Dacos. Oh, Toby Green's first year at the Giants was unbelievable, but Nick Dacos's last year was incredible. All this talk about one of your teammates, Will Ashcroft. Your first impression, what do you think?
I mean, you always look at draftees and when they come into the footy club and sometimes, they don't really understand the AFL environment. Ashy's, as soon as he walked in the doors, mate, you knew that he wanted to get to work. I think he was at the footy club a day after the draft and just wanted to get straight into it. Obviously couldn't because they hadn't, fully done their screening and stuff like that. But, mate, he was just a workhorse from day one and earned that respect, I think, of the group. That's probably the number one thing you want to do as a junior player is to just come into a club and earn the respect of the older players and everyone there. And he was able to do that really quickly just through genuine work ethic. And he's been very impressive, mate. I think everyone's always looking for something to sort of stand out that, you might be able to, it's like
exploit, maybe.
Yeah, exploit. And he hasn't shown
really
anything.
Have a weakness.
No, it's unbelievable.
Nick Dacos is the exact same. Do you reckon he could have a year like Nick Dacos?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a really good year. And I reckon actually, yes, it could be better than Nick Dacos.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's learning off the likes of Lockie Neal and Josh Dunkley, Hugh McGluggage, these guys.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty good midfield group. It goes pretty deep, and we've sort of built that chemistry already, and looking forward to obviously putting it on show this week over the preseason. It's been nice. Yeah. But tell me about you, mate. Tell me about you. I want to hear about how you're going.
I'm interrogating you.
Just all one way street here. But you're obviously highly publicised that you had an interrupted preseason, but you're obviously flying now. You played well last week, and everything's going well.
Yeah, I'm good. I had a couple off-season surgeries. Obviously, my shoulder was playing up a bit last year. You reminded me every Monday that I was just sooking and having a cry because I couldn't get on the bench press or whatever it might have been because your shoulders are worse than my shoulders or whatever it may be. But
I bet you missed that.
Nope. No, but yeah, I obviously had an off-season surgery on the shoulders and the ankles, and they took a lot longer to recover. I just feel like it's just my body, and maybe the thought that there was a couple hard training sessions in there in December, January. I thought maybe I can milk this a little bit longer and only wait to the games. But no, I feel really good now. I seem to time my run really well. All the time.
You always do, mate. You just get out of preseason all the time.
I know the 2 years that we obviously spent together, I didn't really train until February, really, and that's just started.
What's funny? What's funny?
What's funny?
I got asked by a number of people, how's ads going? I'm just like, don't worry, he'll be there round one. That's my answer.
Yeah. Well, I find a way.
I know.
You know what? My body's just not built for the kilometers in the preseason and all that stuff. It's just not built for it. Not at all.
Fair enough.
Remember that conversation we had? Would have been day 2 of driving up to Brisbane, you moving your stuff, and we jumped in the car and jumped on the freeway and drove up and stayed in where'd we stay? We stayed at Port Macquarie, was it?
We stayed Sydney and then Port Macquarie, yeah.
Port Macquarie. And the Port Macquarie night over dinner, we had a conversation about, our bodies and why I was still sore. And then I started to question you. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah. You cracked it. You actually genuinely cracked it that night.
Hey, I didn't crack it.
Yeah, you did. You were flat with me.
No, I didn't.
Because I hit a few strings that were...
you hit a sore spot.
They were a bit touchy.
Because you know why? Do you know why? Probably because it's hard to hear the truth. Because do I overtrain? Yep, I overtrain. And it took another strained calf in the preseason to know that.
a few days later, I reckon you came to me and you were like, you know what? I'm going to change things up a little bit.
And I did. And I have.
Yeah,
and I have.
good. And look at you,
know
mate.
what's
You're
funny?
flying.
I know how you know because we track each other on our watch, our Apple Watch, and when we do our sessions, it logs on and we see each other's sessions. I can definitely think that you have not seen me log in many sessions recently because all I'm doing, mate, is getting this body right.
That's good, mate. That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
So just like I seen that photo of you the other day, because we obviously caught up it was my birthday last week and we caught up and went out for dinner. And
happy birthday, mate.
Thanks, mate. 30, far out. And a mention of how slim you're looking and how good you're looking at the moment. And then Kyle brought up about something about your diet and whether you're changing what you're eating and whatnot. And I simply looked at him and said, maybe he does learn a few things off me.
Oh, what are you trying to say? What have I learned off you?
Maybe.
What are you trying to say?
Maybe that it's nice to be a little bit lighter because let's be fair, you were bloody heavy your first year at the Doggies, and then you did your shoulders, got a little bit lighter, and then finished 2021 in the final series unbelievably well, and then last year came out and had your best and fairest year, and then now you're looking even leaner. So what I'm saying is you're going to come out and win the BNF this year, probably win the Brownlow because all the attention's going to be to Lachie Neale and Huey McGluggage and Will Ashcroft, and then you're just going to keep getting better. All because you change a little bit what you're eating.
Hopefully it helps me, but I don't think personally that I've changed a hell of a lot. I think that consistency in your diet is the best thing. And I was telling you and Kyle that on Saturday night, and you were just having me out for it. So,
but the club has been a little bit strange without having you there. The first couple of weeks, probably the first couple of months is a little bit strange. I had to say g'day to all my other teammates.
Crosby, you're hanging out with Crosby. How is life, mate? How is life? Honesty.
It's good. It's great, mate. I honestly say this, hand on heart. This is probably, I don't know if it's because I'm living in the moment now and you try and appreciate it, but it's probably the closest group that I've had. I thought a couple of years ago, the grand final year that we had was a close group. We are, this group now, extremely close. We're able to hold each other accountable, which is really nice because, sometimes you can have individuals you don't know how they're going to, I guess, take feedback, whatever it may be, or, whether it's on field, off field. I think we can actually hold each other accountable and on how we want to play and whatnot. And I know there's an internal drive that we have to want to have success, which is probably the best thing about it. And the only thing that sucks is obviously you're not there to be there with me doing it. But in terms of that side of things, it's great, mate. I'm so excited about the year. I'm very, very optimistic about what we can achieve. And the new guys coming in Rory Lobb's been enormous for us. And Liam Jones is probably one that has not, I wouldn't say he surprised us because he, athletically was a freak of nature before he retired. It's just the fact that he's been able to come back. I think he's 32, 33. His athleticism's still there. He reads the play as well as anybody. He took, I think it was 11 intercept marks in that preseason game. I feel like it's kind of the player that we've been screaming for, and that brings excitement to the group. And then on top of that, the experience side of things, where I think we're the second oldest list, which is actually really surprising because I've never really been a part of an older list. And we've seen obviously what Geelong did last year. So yeah, we take great motivation from that. So yeah, it's been good. The only thing that's changed a little bit is, as you would have seen, is the facility. Now now we're getting this nice state of the art renovation that's going to take a year or so. The old cafe, Barker's Cafe, mate, is our gym. How good?
It's hard to imagine, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. They actually just laid the grass down, which is exciting.
Oh, right.
They have. So we should be running on there soon.
Nice. So, in all honesty, what are we expecting from the Dogs this year?
Oh, you know what? Since you're not part of the team anymore, mate, that's got to stay close to the heart and closer in the group, mate. No, what I honestly I think there's probably can't put a ceiling on what we can achieve. That's the thing. There's no real, I don't have any expectations, and I know a lot of people don't really have many expectations for us, which is okay. But yeah, I feel like there's no.
You don't think there's any expectation?
Nah, not
Really?
the way there is on. Nah, not the way there is on the Geelongs, the Brisbanes, the Sydneys, the Melbournes. I mean, I've seen. Obviously now that all the AFL pundits and all those people are coming out and giving their predictions, and I've seen a lot where either just scraping into the 8 or not making the 8. So that's kind of what I mean by not really expectation into winning. Where I look at Melbourne and Brisbane is one team, Sydney, Melbourne, Geelong, probably Collingwood as well. Probably the teams that have a lot of expectation on them in finishing high. Which teams don't like. And I know players don't buy into that. We don't really care what the commentators
What's
have to
said out
say.
there.
But I believe there's not really that much expectation on us yet, which is okay. But as I said, I feel like there's no real ceiling. When we play our best footy and consistently do that, we're going to be a hard team to beat. And just hopefully we can do that. What about you? What about you guys?
We've sort of been through it together. I think the expectation sort of brings a lot of standards. Everything's really expected to be high, and it makes you train really hard. It makes everything be at that elite level. And we've talked about it at the Dogs before. I think we've had those expectations where, you don't want to waver off anything, because at the same time, you just know that everyone's expecting you to do well. So you've got to really make sure that you're training at that elite standard and making sure that everything's being left out there, and you continuing to improve every week. And I really feel like we've done that this preseason. I've obviously come into the club and been blown away by the work ethic of everyone around the footy club, not only players but staff, and everyone is on the same page. And it'd be silly not to say that there wasn't a buzz around the football club at the moment, and everyone's really excited to get started this weekend. But like we always say, mate, you can only take it 1 week at a time. You don't want to look too far ahead. So focusing on Port this week, and I'm sure you guys are focusing on the Ds, and looking forward to getting stuck into it.
Bit weird because it's come around real quick. It's felt like yesterday when I guess I say that because I've only really started training the last 3 weeks. Maybe that's why it's come a bit quicker for me. But geez, it's come around so quick. I mean, you get back into routine, and I like to plan I'll plan my dinners in advance, and now I'm back to having the pasta the day before the game. Remember last year, the last game in Tassie, you had to accommodate for me with the Thurlows. We had to accommodate for my pasta requirements.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, we went to, everyone wouldn't know, but we went to a family friend's house in Tassie, and Adzi has to have his pasta or whatever it was the night before a game. So we all had to have pasta because otherwise he'd crack the shits and talk about it.
Would not crack it. No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
I would have just Uber eated some pasta back to the hotel.
But that would have been bad.
No, it's cool. It's good. It's good that we get back into routine. I like it. I like now you kind of get into a mode where it's all about recovery and performance, and see where the improvements have come over the off season. No doubt there would have been areas for yourself. What are your own personal goals that you want to achieve? I don't want to hear win the grand final or anything. I want to know what you want to achieve individually.
Personally.
Yep.
Yeah. I reckon I talked about it last year a little bit, but continuing on that, being that goal kicking kind of midfielder, I'd love to continue to build that. I think I kicked 18 or 19 goals last year. But I started the year really badly. So to be able to start the year well will be nice, and continue flying for marks. I got on the end of a few last year, and the contested marking space is something that I've always tried to work on. You know that. And then the physical side of the game, obviously the pressure and tackling and smothers and that kind of stuff, I feel like is that's part of me and what I always try and do well, and that's what I base my game around. So
is the plan for you to be able to play forward a little bit as well as predominantly being inside?
I'll probably be a little bit more inside, I reckon, than I was at the Doggies, but I'll still try and float forward and hopefully take a few marks and kick a few goals. That'd be nice. What about yourself, mate?
Oh, yeah, I think the goal kicking side is so vital nowadays for midfielders. Different year. I started the year off well, and then I kind of had a lull there. Well, I was playing halfback a bit, but it was hard to sneak up forward, kick a snag. But I think being able to hit the scoreboard, I feel like I've always, as I've gotten a little bit older, I want my quality of disposal to be, I want it to be impactful every time I get the ball, I want to be able to have an impactful play, no matter what it is. And yeah, just continuing that regard, looking after my body. I've always said to you, as soon as I lose my speed and my power around the contest, I'm hanging up the boots and I'm walking away because I can't lose my my one wood. So I feel like the way that I look after that is by doing all my recovery, and that's something that I'm going to well and truly focus on a lot more. Well, not a lot more, continue to, but keep doing that when I get the opportunity.
All right, Adsy. Obviously chatted a lot about footy, but let's do some season predictions. We did some last year, and I'm not sure upon review how we went, but let's go this year. So we'll go grand final, team to win it, outside of your own team, Coleman medalist, Brownlow, Rising Star.
All right. I will go for one. So outside of us, obviously winning the premiership, because I think we'll win it. A team that might be up there contending against us. Well, I don't want to say it because you're Brisbane Lions, but you're obviously one of the teams to beat. But a team that I think is probably primed is Melbourne. Melbourne look like, with the addition of Brodie Grundy and another year of Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver, and everyone is intrigued to see how Brodie and Maxi Gawn go. I think probably they're the team, and we'll get a really good gauge on Saturday. Yeah, they're probably the team. You?
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Melbourne, we played against Geelong in the first preseason game, and they were pretty good too. They had a few out, and they were still pretty good. So I think their system will stand up in big games and in big moments. So Melbourne and Geelong are probably the two for me.
My Brownlow medalist? Oh, well, from afar, I'll be barracking hard for you, well and truly. And I feel like you're in a great position to poll votes if, Lockie Neal's getting tagged, and not that you're not good enough to get tagged. I feel like if you're free, mate, you'll be getting bulk footy and getting bulk 3 vote best on grounds. But I think up close, because I've seen him up close and how good he's been this preseason, he's probably Bont. I mean, he my first year here, I was blown away by just how well he trained, and the stuff that he would do out on the field is just freakish. And I feel like he's kind of done that again this preseason. I know he was very interrupted last preseason, so up close seeing him. So he's probably my teammate, and that's probably the obvious answer, but he just looks unbelievable. Showed my bias towards you, so that was you, but a legitimate one is probably one of the Melbourne boys. So I think either Petrarca or Clayton Oliver. And I feel like when you're always around the mark for so long, you always seem to get votes. Not when you don't deserve them, but you always seem to get votes just because you're that.
People are always watching you.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know what you're saying.
Yes, I feel like Clayton Oliver and Petrarca are in that boat, and because they're absolute superstars, I feel like they're probably the two that will be right up there.
I think either Clayton Oliver, I probably would say Clary over Petrarca, just because I don't know why, he's just probably more in amongst it than what Petrarca is. But yeah, I mean, I know I've seen Bont up close and personal too, and he's obviously been a great player for a long period of time. And like you said, if he's had a good preseason and he's fresh and feeling ready to go, then he'll be hard to stop for sure. Lockie Neal, I think he's been pretty good this preseason, and mate, the way that he moves at ground level is just insane.
Incredible.
Like he's so fast. Like,
is he
maneuvering around a stoppage? He's clean. And I've actually had a few tagging jobs on him before, so to be actually one of his teammates now is not bad. And instead of trying to shut him down every week, but he's probably one from our team and the other one's probably Huey McCluggage as well. Had a really good preseason, and looking forward to seeing and playing alongside him this year.
What about, I think the obvious one for us, Rising Star? I feel like we're both going to say the same answer.
Yeah, Ashy.
Yeah, obviously, but just to be controversial.
And another one?
I think one of my teammates, because he still can, Sam Darcy.
Well, mate, Sammy Darcy's at it. He's been really good. He's a big chance to win the Rising Star, I think. The way that he can launch at a footy, unbelievable.
And I'll tell you what, his skills for a big man, left and right foot, unbelievable. Like, unbelievable.
Has he put on some weight?
No, I don't think he needs to. Right now he needs to utilize what his strengths are, and that is his ability to jump at the ball and take it at its highest point rather than probably wrestle his direct opponent. But I think in due time he will put on some weight. But yeah, he's if he stays healthy and can play, he'll be right up there in the rising star, and probably one of our most important players, which is good for him. And the last one, Coleman medal, I'm going to go. I know we're doing one for our team and outside, but I legit think my teammate. I'm going to say Aaron Norton.
Big Cotton Norton.
Yep, big Cotton Norton. I think Aaron Norton. I think with the fact that Rory Lobb's come in and whether Das plays forward or back, if he goes forward, Tim English, if he goes forward, they're going to take a lot of stress off Naughty, who's faced, as you would know, he's bloody copped 3 defenders week in, week out. So I think he's primed.
That's a good call. I think he'd be primed, definitely, with the caliber of players around him now and the focus obviously shifting not only to him but to others. So it'd be great to see him win the Coleman medal. I think he's well and truly deserves it. Big Naughty. Coleman medalist for me, Jeremy Cameron.
He's a gun.
I think he's probably one of the most valuable players in the league.
And at some stage, I'd love to. We can do this on on different potty. I want to do our top 10 players and our top 10 underrated players that we did last year. Okay. Because I know in a lot of them, I feel like we nailed a lot of them.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I feel like a lot of them we did, especially the underrated players.
Mate, how's the NFL trades these days? Unbelievable.
At the moment, they're just throwing around money. Did you see Daniel Jones signed a $160 million contract for the New York Giants?
Denver spent
they spent like over $200 million
in a day.
And will it help them? Don't know. I feel like another year in the system for Russell Wilson is going to help him, but will it help him? I don't know. I mean, they essentially gave up all their first round picks and all their future picks for Russell Wilson and their coach, which blows my mind. Have you ever seen one player and one coach have that much of an impact?
No.
In any sport? I mean, you could say Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, but I don't think there was just those two. I'm just excited for the draft, mate. Because once we do the draft, no, the proper draft, because then I could start doing fantasy mock drafts, mate. Would you laugh if I told you that I did a fantasy draft, NFL fantasy draft last week?
Yes, I'll always laugh because I can just remember you sitting in the car. We're just driving around, and it's January, and you're doing a fantasy draft already.
Yeah, the season's a close 8 months away. I need to make sure I'm on top of things. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. It's exciting that the draft is happening soon. So now I can jot down the players that I need to take in the fantasy draft. I mean, I was in 8 leagues this year and I only won 1, so I was pretty flat about it. And I know that actually, speaking of winning leagues,
I won the Ausmerican Aces.
Did you win the Ausmerican Aces League?
I did.
What'd you start? What was your record?
0-8, 0-7, I think I was for the year.
And you ended up not losing after that?
Yeah. Didn't lose a game after that. I think I won 11 straight to win the title. And Benny Graham said to me, something about, I think I only had like 2 or 3 players still on my roster, that started from the start. So it was good. It was, you were riding with me, weren't you?
Absolutely. Every Monday. Who's playing? Who versing? What was the blockbuster trade you did?
Oh, I did.
Remember you did that
CMC?
trade?
Yeah, for Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones.
And that was to Maisie, wasn't it? Stephen
May.
Yep. Oh, no. I'll have to say to him on the weekend.
Yeah, round 1, you can tell him out there if he's having a shot for goal or something. If he sneaks up the ground.
Man, I'll see. That's why you need to do the preparation. That's why you need to do the fantasy drafts.
No, I don't need to do that stuff.
Did you do an NBA draft, fantasy draft for the year?
Yep. And I'm spewing about this too because I'm in Hayden Crozier's league with his brother and his mates. And, mate, I have Steph Curry and Devin Booker, both who have been out for a lot of the time. So my team started off, I was 11-0 or 7-0 for the start of the year, wins. And everyone's like, not going to beat me. And then they start getting injured, and now I'm cooked.
Oh, so you're done. You're done.
But now they're both back playing, and I'm dominating, and I'm just like, my score's nearly beaten Cross. I should be like, just disappointing.
Have you been watching the NBA in general, not just NFL fantasy? I mean, it gets good now because it's almost playoff time.
Well, it's good to see. Yeah, like I know we're going to talk about it, but the Lakers have transformed their whole team. LeBron's injured, mate. And mate, they're going well. They're probably they're in the plane, aren't they? At the moment?
Jared Vanderbilt, mate, he's anchoring their defense. So the number one defense in the last 2 weeks. So it looks like they're going to be pretty good. We all want to see LeBron in the playoffs. After was it last year? Last year where he tweeted after they didn't make it or something, he tweeted saying, mark my words, I'll be there next year or something along those lines. And I was thinking that a couple of weeks ago, like, it's going to be pretty awkward if you're not there, considering you said you're going to be there. But speaking of LeBron, though, what about passing the all-time points record? Unbelievable. Have you watched LeBron live?
I have, yep.
You have?
Twice, I reckon, twice.
You know, when you and Tipsy eventually have some kids, you can say to them that you were there to be able to witness LeBron in all the peak of his powers and be one of the great NBA basketball players. And because it's crazy, because I genuinely don't think we're ever going to see someone beat the points record ever again. Because
he's still going, mate.
He's legit going to keep playing. Mate,
it'd be cool to see him play with Bronny.
Oh, I watched this clip the other day. It was a basketball clip. He was trying to predict. He was doing this simulation type setup where he was simulating players' NBA current careers now and future NBA players that will get drafted. Guys like that Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson and Bronny James. And in his calculation, I don't know how he figured this out. He said he got to, it was like 2080 and still no one was going to pass LeBron's points. He predicted LeBron plays for another 2 to 3 years, scores 40,000 points or whatever it is, and there's no one that's going to overtake him.
It's a record that'll never be broken. You can just tell.
Where do you stand on the LeBron Jordan debate?
Wow. I was saying Jordan a lot, but I think LeBron every day now is getting that step closer to becoming the greatest of all time.
Yeah, so I think my bias towards MJ will never change, so he'll always be the greatest. But in terms of the greatest, like, athlete / like whole basketball player, I feel like LeBron probably has that mantle. I just don't want to say it. Want to say it. I got to stick with MJ because I just like my childhood growing up and my love of basketball came from MJ. I watched all his documentaries. I watched everything on him, the way he changed the game, and I just got to be biased and stick by him. But it's almost like I'm lying to myself in a way, but I'm not because I'll always be true to MJ being the greatest. But I guess it'll be another debate for when LeBron retires because we're still going to see what he does.
Well, I reckon people will talk about that for the rest of their lives, like MJ, LeBron, who knows? But hey, everyone can have their own opinion.
And you never know. There could be someone like Giannis or Nikola Jokic who continues in their trajectory and becomes one of the greats. Luka Doncic. Speaking of those guys, who do you think will win the West and the East and then the title?
West, I'm going to go with Denver Nuggets only because I think that Jokic and their team's very impressive. They've been obviously really good all season. I know the Phoenix Suns have got KD now, so you never know what they're going to bring. Did you see him do his ankle the other day in the warm-up?
Oh, you know what? That was wild. I would do. It is something I would
actually
do.
It is. It is, but you continue to play. Like, you'd be that stupid to continue to play.
And find a way. I'd find a way, mate. I would find a way.
You would. But no, Denver Nuggets for me, and I think Boston Celtics in the East.
See, I think Denver will be there, but I think Phoenix. I feel like with the experience that they've had in the playoffs, and obviously 2 years ago they lost in the finals, I feel like with the acquisition of KD, who now becomes their, because I don't think Devin Booker is just yet a closer of games. I feel like inconsistently is, where I think now with KD, he's going to be the guy that closes games for him, steps up when they need to win, and he's just the experience in the playoff in general. So that's why I think Phoenix will win. I feel like it's a lot more closer in the East in terms of who's going to win, because I think the Bucks, Boston are good. I think Cleveland are sneakily good. I think at home they're going to be hard to beat. I feel like I'm missing someone. I think Philadelphia will be really good, but I got to go with my gut and say Giannis. I can't, if he stays injury free and continues to play, with the fact that Chris Middleton's missed half the year and now he's come back and essentially playing fresh. This, 3 quarters into the season, he's just essentially started playing. He's fresh. He probably had his best game today. We're at 31, 5-5, and he's just going to get better. And I think Brook Lopez, the way that he anchors the defense with Giannis, I feel like they're probably the team to beat. And if I were to pick a winner in the finals, where it'd be Phoenix v Milwaukee, I feel like I want to go with KD because he's my guy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee bring it, especially if they get the home ground advantage or home court advantage, as footy talk for you. If they get the home court advantage, I feel like they could win. But I feel like it'd be a really even series. So they're probably my two, with a little bit of an edge to Phoenix purely because of KD.
Yeah, fair call, mate. I personally think Boston will go all the way. They were quite short last year. But anyway, we'll move on. Round one, we'll talk about that a little bit. We touched on it at the top of the show, but what are your excitement levels? How are you feeling? It's obviously a big time of year. Footy's back and everyone's looking forward to it. So give us a bit of a rundown.
Yeah, feel good. I guess it's hard, as you will know, it's hard to, get a gauge and see where you're at as a team, because most preseason's pretty flawless because not really coming up against opposition. I was extremely impressed by the way we played against North Melbourne in our one trial game. We only had one. I was very impressed by how we went about it. A lot of things we put into practice how we wanted to play, and we went into some scenarios which were good, and we were able to practice a few of those for different times throughout the year. So excited, and I think there's no better way to then come up against one of the premiership favourites in Melbourne. There's a lot of talk about how well they're going and the expectation, and we know that they're one of the best teams around, and having to come up against Brody and Maxi Gawn for the first time, it's going to be exciting for the footy world to see, but it's exciting to see where we're at as a footy club. How Chile's going to take on that challenge against their rucks. They've clearly got a really strong midfield in Petrarca and Clayton Oliver, and not sure if Jack Viney will play, but if he does, they've got some really good players through there, so it's going to be a challenge for our mids. But then, I'm excited to see how Lobby and Jonesy goes. Players that we potentially haven't seen before play yet. Excited to see how they go and how they fit in, and then being able to play at the MCG. We've only got 2 games this year at the G, and it's in round.
So do we.
Yeah, round 1 and round 3. So, sorry, round 4. Round 1 and round 4 because we got you round 3. So, yeah, I'm excited. We still have our main session to go this week. So, once that's done, and then we've got a day off and captain's run, it gets a little bit nervy. Get really excited about it, and it's still daylight saving here. I know you don't have to worry about it up there, but daylight saving here, so they're like twilight games for us, which is pretty exciting as well. What about you? How are you feeling? Cool. Your first game for the new club?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good, mate. I'm excited. Obviously, you wait all preseason, you work so hard to get yourself to a good level of fitness, and like you said, it's just an exciting time of year, and everyone's just awaiting, new players playing for new teams, to see how everyone's going to go as well. So I'm more excited to just, pull on the jumper officially for the first time and run out there and play for the Brisbane Lions against Port, and hopefully, like you mentioned, we can test ourselves against a quality outfit and come over the top. It'd be good. Looking forward to it.
Tips will be there?
No, so Tip is in Brisbane and we're in Adelaide.
She's playing against Kimmy.
Yeah, that's a big.
Wow.
The
on the Sunday, that's right. So
Thunderbirds versus the Firebirds, the Bird Cup.
Who are you going for? Because remember, your sister plays for.
Just hope both the girls play well, mate. That's it.
Yeah, well, there's only one game this year that mirrors for me with Kimmy, so I'll be barracking for Kimmy from afar. How is, before we end our first episode, how's the darling going? How's Tipsy going?
Yeah, she's good.
Primed for a big year?
She's going well. Yeah, she had a good preseason. Always looking for things to improve, but I think she's really happy with how she's going and looking forward to the year. They're going to be pretty good, Adelaide Thunderbirds, I reckon. Looking forward to it. Obviously, a great year ahead. This is only the start of bigger things to come, eh? You and me are back.
Well, we are. As we touched on, we're going to have a weekly episode that drops at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. So make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. Obviously, make sure you follow our social channels, Ausmerican Aces. We're really excited. There's going to be plenty of talking points throughout the year. And as the weeks go by, we'll be able to talk about what's happening in the world of footy, but not just footy, all other sports and in our own lives. And something that we need to keep diving into is the netball, because I know the feedback we got last year about the netball and the fact that we talked about it a lot. We got to make sure we maybe next week we do our predictions, even though they'll be around, but we'll do our predictions and we'll talk about maybe a weekly review on the netball.
Sounds good to me, mate. Sounds good.
But it's been good, mate. Yeah, well done.
It has been, mate. Don't make sure everyone out there doesn't miss a single thing. Jump on to the Ausmerican Aces website, YouTube, Instagram. We'll obviously chuck it all up as well. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you all and hearing you all next week. Cheers.